again. I was debating whether or not to come chat with you today, and then I decided that I have so much to cover, and it's been such a big week that I really need to come talk to you today. So, of course, my book came out this week, and I keep telling people that it felt like my birthday. It was really, really fun, and it's been incredible. Some friends sent me flowers. Thank you, Melina and Masha. And yeah, I don't know. It's been really fun. Like the most exciting part of it to me, Nestor, hey, the most exciting part of it to me is that everyone's sending me the pictures of them getting their book in their hands and also asking some really amazing questions and giving me some feedback. What I've heard so far is people really like the structured shopping lists and the equipment lists. You know, it's just really awesome for people that don't spend that much time in the kitchen or don't really know how to cook that well. It's also amazing for people that do know how to cook but want their lives to be easier. So what I'm hearing is the step-by-step aspect of the meal planning has been helpful. So the first thing I wanted to do today is to talk to you a little bit about how to make the cooking easier. And I feel really passionately about this. This book was written for people with inflammation specifically to help lower inflammation. If you are living with inflammation, you've got autoimmune, you've got cancer, you have some fatigue issue, you have diabetes. If you have any of these issues that are linked to inflammation, sitting here in the kitchen and working for a really long time is really challenging. So if you want to do this diet completely, chopping things up and everything fresh, that's absolutely possible. I was talking to a client earlier today. She has a CSA box. She gets fresh veggies in. I know a lot of you guys are gardening. Use those foods. If you need something different, there's options for you, and I just don't want you to be afraid of those options. So in the book, it's anti-inflammatory, right? There's a ton of herbs and spices. Fresh is really great. Like what I do at the store is in the garden is I just grab a big bunch of cilantro and a big bunch of parsley, and I just like chop it into everything. So that's a really easy thing you can do to be anti-inflammatory. If you don't have fresh herbs, or if it's the middle of winter or something, you can use dried, right? There's a lot of benefits to that. These still have a lot of antioxidants and different vitamins and minerals. So again, you don't have to be perfect. And this diet that I wrote is not about eliminating a bunch of foods or going without or restricting. It's about adding in more of what works for you. So herbs and spices. Also, I realized when I was writing the book that I was doing so much garlic and onion, like so much. They're extremely anti-inflammatory. And guess what? Those foods don't work for everybody. So if you're on a low FODMAP diet or you have certain gut issues, you're going to have to adapt. And the most important thing about the book is that you can adapt it however you need. I know that I've got some vegan friends listening right now. Thanks for joining. And you can make all but like a handful of these recipes vegan. So if there's seafood, it really just says seafood, there's dairy in a couple, just cut them on out and add in some tofu or tempeh or beans for protein, and you're going to be fine. So really, really easy to adapt. I have been getting some feedback from friends that have a lot of food allergies and really saying that they felt that this book is awesome for food allergies. It's not specifically written for that, but it is mostly naturally gluten-free. It is naturally mostly vegan. There are some nightshades in it, but there's not in the majority. So it really is flexible and accessible in that way. Garlic and onions. I had to go to the chopped garlic realm because I literally was going through like piles and piles and piles of garlic. This is cool. It's chopped garlic and water. The ingredients are organic garlic, water, citric acid, which is a preservative that doesn't allow the color to change. It's actually vitamin C, and then a little bit of salt. So, this is just, it'll save your life, right? And so that's one thing I wanted to show you. Don't be afraid of the pre-chopped garlic. Also, frozen foods. We need to talk about frozen foods right now. Frozen foods keep their nutrients sometimes better than fresh foods. It's really amazing. So don't be afraid of frozen foods. Just read the ingredients to make sure that you're not getting additives that don't work for you. One of my favorites, and again, I'm not trying to show any particular brands, brown rice. If you are meal prepping, it's really cool. Brown rice takes about 45 minutes to cook, so you can put it on the stove while you're doing other things. So while you're chopping all your onions, you can get your brown rice cooking. But if you are in a hurry and you need something really quick, or you have leftover curry and you don't have brown rice on hand, then just like literally microwave some of this or heat it up on the stove and you're good to go, right? Another hack that I have, one of my favorite recipes in the book that you really need to know about is the cauliflower fried rice. I know that it might not be like your top favorite go-to. You're like, what is that? It's incredible. And I make it every single week now because it's so, so, so good. So you can literally take a cauliflower and like shred it up with a big grater and it becomes like rice and you can completely work with it. However, that does make kind of a mess in your kitchen. And this frozen cauliflower rice is awesome and I use it all the time. So it literally just is cauliflower and it's frozen. So again, do I love the packaging? No, that's not amazing for the environment, though I do recycle it. Is it more expensive? Absolutely. Like that's for sure. So I'm not saying that it's not. If you have problems with your hands, if you have a lot of pain, if grating a cauliflower is not going to work for you, if you don't have the kitchen equipment, I just want you to know that you have other options, right? So you need to do what's best for you. I absolutely grate the cauliflower sometimes, and sometimes I use the cauliflower rice that's frozen. Finally, one of my least favorite things to chop, and I want to hear your least favorite things to chop, so put them in the comments, but squash. Like butternut squash and pumpkins are so hard to cut because they're round, right? And I always a little like worry about my knives with them because they're very slippery and they're kind of hard to handle. One thing that I really love buying frozen is butternut squash. It's already peeled, it's good to go. You don't have to deal with squash at all. Again, we're coming into squash season, so if you've got it, cut it in half, put it on a cutting board and just go with it. Just be very careful. But you know, if I need to make a quick soup or I'm meal prepping, a lot of times I actually will reach out to the pre-cut butternut squash because it makes my life a lot easier. So if you are working on your cooking skills, if you need things to be easy, if you've got 3 kids at home, which some people here, I know they do, more power to you. You need things to be easy, right? You can't just be cutting squash and onions all day, but you still want to eat healthfully. And so in this book, I really tried to highlight ways that you can do that. What else was I going to talk to you about? I have been getting incredible questions and thoughts from people. And one today was about supplements. So I actually wanted to talk about, as we head into cold and flu season and as we're still dealing with this COVID pandemic, I'm getting a lot of questions about the immune system and vitamin C and what do we do? Should we take supplements, that sort of thing. So one of my friends today that was reading the book said, she's so amazed and really interested because she always thought of vitamin C as really great for the immune system and really immune boosting, which of course it is. But she was like, I didn't realize how many other foods that we eat are good for the immune system and are good to calm inflammation. And of course, that's completely true. And I talk about that a lot in the book. She also said, that she had a question about whether we can get all the nutrients we need from food or whether we need to take it from supplements. And like, if we get supplements, like how do we know they're safe and how are they regulated and all that? So this is something that I talk about a lot. And I thought this would be a perfect place to talk about it. I don't have supplements in the book, right? It's really whole foods based. However, I do talk about supplements a lot with my clients. I'm a clinical dietitian, so I work with a lot of people that are pretty sick, going through cancer treatment. I have people that, are going through surgeries or things like that. I have a lot of vegan clients, right? That's a big passion of mine. I've also got ketogenic clients. Women that are pregnant come to mind. People that have eating disorders come to mind. There's so many reasons that you might actually need supplements. So for example, one supplement that comes to mind, if you're a vegan, you should be taking B12. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has a position paper on that. And in the abstract at the very top, it says, if you're a vegan, you need to take a reliable source of B12. We live in the Pacific Northwest up here, I do. And a lot of people are vitamin D deficient. So that's another supplement you might need to take. So, a lot of people are anemic. They need to take, different iron or other blood builders. So there are sometimes targeted reasons to take supplementation. So I don't ever want to say, don't supplement ever. You'll never. It's not necessary, because that's not true. I've met many, many people that really need supplements. It's extremely clinically, and it helps them a lot. If you can't eat for whatever reason, especially my clients going through cancer treatment, a lot of times their medical team say, just don't take any supplements. That's not true, right? You have to be extremely careful to understand if you're getting into any medication interactions or if you're on blood thinners, you have to be very careful. But you really could benefit from a multivitamin. Maybe you really need some curcumin to calm that inflammation down. Maybe you're deficient in vitamin D, as in dog, or maybe you have really bad anemia and you're low in iron. There's so many reasons to look at each person as an individual, right? So it's important to work with dietitians and doctors to get some testing and understand what you need for your supplements. However, most people should be able to get the nutrients they need from food. Like, I like to take a food first approach. That's how dietitians usually practice. And so this diet is really designed not to focus very specifically on any single nutrient, but to really be giving you a wide variety of nutrients every day from the food you eat. So I've got beans and greens and fruits and vegetables and lentils and whole grains. So when you're eating all those different foods, you actually don't have to worry about it very much. Like, you're getting what you need in a natural way. You're eating foods that grow from the earth. And again, you can get tested for certain deficiencies, but in general, you should be able to meet your needs. Though there are a lot of people that do fall into categories for a variety of reasons that could need some support. The final thing that this friend said today is that she has kids, and I've been getting some really fun feedback about how these recipes really speak to people that have kids. The meal prepping is easier for families, and that kids actually might like some of this food. So I'm really, really happy about that. And if that's the case for you, if you have the book, you have to let me know. I would be so honored if this really helped families, right? And it was really designed for that too, to be like very accessible and a wide variety of different foods that people might enjoy. But my friend said that something I told her a long time ago resonated with her, and I wanted to end with this today. Sorry, we're doing some construction in the back, so you might hear some noise. She said that I told her that kids are deeply intuitive with their eating. Right? Like, kids aren't trying to lose or gain weight. They're not worried about what food is good or bad. They're just really intuitive. They eat when they're hungry. Sometimes they refuse to eat. Sometimes they're picky, and then they start eating stuff again. Like, they're all over the place. But as we go through life, we lose that intuition, right? So it's really important to understand that this book is not like a diet book. This book is not designed for you to lose weight, though some people probably will lose weight when they go to an anti-inflammatory diet. It also is designed for some people that need to gain weight. A lot of my clients are trying to gain weight. So you're going to have to adjust it to your needs, right? We all have really different calorie and protein needs. But one thing I do want you to keep in mind as you try some of these recipes and as you meal prep, maybe you don't want a snack, right? There's snacks written in here. Maybe you don't want it or you don't need it. Maybe you hate breakfast and you start eating later in the day. Maybe, you need a lighter dinner and a heavier breakfast. There's so many different things that you might need. So use it as a framework to do what's going to be best for you and your body, right? And if you do need to lose or gain weight, or you want to change something in that way, make sure and reach out to me or your doctor or another dietitian that can really help you in a balanced way figure out what that looks like for you. So if you guys have the book, I'm so honored. Also, if you have the book and you have any feedback, I'd love it if you put a review on Amazon. It actually makes a really, really big difference. And as I've learned more about the process, I have been doing a lot more reviews for other people because it really helps buyers going on to Amazon figure out, what book might be best and most helpful to them. So reviews are just really, really, really helpful, and they're very easy. They just take a couple minutes. So that would be wonderful. And also, I'm going to be back on Monday. I never do videos on Monday, but I'm going to be interviewing a friend who's very interesting. Her name is Lauren, and she just wrote a book too on the alkaline diet. And I've talked about the alkaline diet a lot in cancer care. I get a lot of questions about it, so I'm very excited to have her. She is also plant-based, and her cookbook is very plant-based, and so she has some really fun recipes. And I just want to talk about that book with her. And we're going to do a double giveaway. So on Monday, on my Facebook specifically, I'm going to be giving away my book, and Lauren's going to be giving away her book. And we're going to be talking a little bit about how to use nutrition plans like this in your life to deal with whatever nutrition questions you've got. Registered Dietitians Unite. Thank you guys so much for coming. Just thank you for all the support this week. It's been really incredible. And I just have loved connecting with old friends and my family, and just hearing all the positive feedback about the book. And so, yeah, you'll see me again next Friday. And if you want to join me on Facebook Monday on Champagne Nutrition, please do. And you're going to learn more about my book and the alkaline diet as well. So have a great weekend.